are you? Well, good morning.
Good morning and welcome Coffee Chat Creatives.
I'm Claudia.
I'm Sarai and today we're at the Well Coffee off of
San Mateo, 5500 San Mateo.
Yes. And one thing I really like about this coffee shop is they have such a great cause. So they actually they put a good amount of donations towards a beautiful cause of helping addicts recover and just get on the right foot and restart their lives. Which is hard to do already, like just starting a life, but then having to restart from like nothing, that's really difficult. So it's a beautiful cause and it's a wonderful cup of coffee, so you should come and
They have
support.
donuts as well, and they have little stuff and very nice drinks too.
They do.
So make sure you come and visit them. How are you? What are you up to?
Well, I've recently been working on a new series. I'm going to put it in a gallery soon, so I'm a little nervous but really excited. I haven't done work this big in a while. It's going to be called Forest Through the Trees. I'm really excited about it. Thank you. And it's just, it's for the workaholics. So a lot of times you get stuck, you're just on this path of like, oh, I got to get work done, this, and you forget the reason you originally started. And for me, that's why I started this. It's like, okay, the reason I'm working 2 jobs and I'm working so hard is because I have a dream of making this art full time, you know? And I mean, it is hard work. If you want to make it as someone, you got to apply yourself. You have to risk the rejection, and that's where it comes in. And the foxes, they represent like who I am, and not that I'm some stone cold fox, but just because they're really special little animals to me, and they resonate a lot with me.
I see the fox and I always think of Sarai with that.
Thank you. So how did your classes go, and do you have any more coming up soon?
Not in April. I have one in April. We're going to be doing terracotta pots. I'm painting those. I'm going to be spraying those in at home, and then we'll paint them, and then I'll spray them again and make sure they're sealed.
That sounds really fun.
And then no other class in April, but we're busy.
Yeah, we got a lot of podcasts coming up with different galleries, different events.
And then we were invited into the Chocolate and Coffee Fest.
Yes, I'm excited about it.
I know.
Do you want to, like, I don't know who we're going to interview quite yet, because they were like, just show up early, here's your backstage passes.
We'll try to interview any artists that are there, and definitely look at coffee shops and make our community a little bit bigger. So it'll be fun.
Speaking of community, there's another event we were invited to, the Pastel.
Oh yes.
Yes, with I know
the conference. I don't remember the name of it.
I forget the name of the conference as well, but it's
going to be in June, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm
so
excited.
We'll have more information if you're a pastel artist. That's something you definitely want to be part of.
Oh yeah.
Or if you're not a pastel artist, go see that. But I think it's a really good thing to see other type of work.
Yeah, expand your knowledge, and just like I think they're going to be selling there too for different kinds of materials. So definitely check it out and play, because I know that you were playing around with, what was it? You bought these crayon things.
They were watercolor crayons.
It was neat.
We were just playing with it.
Yeah.
And it's different. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it opens up your mind and your world, just playing with different materials and learning about other artists. So for us, this experience of having the podcast has been a positive one, because you get to meet a lot of people, different mediums, and you're not just buried in your art. So I really encourage people to look at other forms of artwork.
Exactly, and I think that's absolutely true, because I mean, it's easy to get stuck in that. And speaking of meeting other artists and everything, today we have a wonderful guest.
So this is Josh Gallegos.
Hello.
He is a colored pencil artist, and colored pencils is not an easy art.
No.
I tried to do that when I was in college, and you get a lot of lines, and it's not. But I see his work, and it looks like oils. I don't know how he does it. I don't know. But welcome, Josh.
Hello.
How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Very good.
Good. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
So we do have a few questions. Like Claudia was saying, colored pencils it's hard. How did you get into that, and why?
Excuse me. After it was something that my mother-in-law introduced to me. This kind of started out with some markers, and I was really liking the markers, and I really wanted to see what I can do with a couple markers that she let me borrow. And then from there, she was like, well, here, why don't you try using colored pencil on top of the markers? And from there, I started exploring with them. I love the way they feel. I felt like I had more control the way I could put detail to paper. And just from there, I think it exploded. I started pushing myself to do strictly colored pencil pieces. I do have pieces that are both colored pencil and marker. But as I'm going, I'm still trying to see what I can do with colored pencil, and I want to see how good I can get with colored pencil.
Okay, let's rewind. How did you get started with art? Like, how did you become an artist?
Okay.
Like, go back to little Josh when he was in kindergarten.
Yeah.
What did that look like?
Going back to grade school, I was probably getting in trouble a lot for drawing. I always loved drawing. It was just something that always came to me. I saw a piece of paper, I had a pencil, and I just wanted to draw. I had an overreactive imagination, and I wanted to see what I could put on paper.
Were you ever diagnosed with some crazy disorder that?
No, I've never been diagnosed.
Okay.
But the one thing I did notice in school was, I was always drawing. I was always getting in trouble, and my teachers were always like, he's never listening. I see him focusing on drawing a lot. Even when it came to like doing like math problems, like they were like, "Oh, draw a graph," and I would like try to draw a detailed graph. I'm like drawing little like things as picture graphs, and I was like, then my teacher was like, "This is way too much effort just for you to answer this one question."
Yeah.
So,
That's so awesome.
but
And I totally relate to that. So I'm like,
Yeah.
yes.
and I wanted to see what I can do, but the one thing I noticed growing up though is that I used it a lot to focus. I have a hard time just sitting still and being I guess lectured at. And that's a lot of school, especially when you get to college. You sit and you go through lectures.
Oh yeah.
And I think there's a certain point where my attention just goes somewhere else. And I'm like, God, they're telling me something about math, or something. It's just like.
The teacher just wants
Just like the peanuts.
Yeah. So like I would use the drawing to somewhat focus, and it was hard because and I can understand why. It was hard because the teachers never saw it as a way to focus. It looked like another distraction. If you're not in someone's head, you're looking at someone from a distance. It's what's actually happening to them or with them. It's going to be something different from what we're perceiving. So for the teachers, they saw a kid drawing in class when they're trying to teach. In my head, I was drawing while I was listening because I couldn't just sit and stare. I had to do something. I was fidgety.
Could you retell everything that the teacher had said, even though you had drawn?
Yeah. So so my there was a parent teacher conference with one of my teachers, and I think this was in 5th grade, I believe, or 4th grade. But the teacher did bring that up, and my mom did bring up hey, this is something that he has done to try to focus. Maybe try asking him some questions, and see if he's listening. Sure enough, during one of the times that she was teaching, I was drawing. She asked a specific question. I was able to answer it, and she asked me to recall what she had said, and I was able to recall. And I think from there, she was just like, what? He is paying attention. So I was able to do that. And from there, she worked with me a little bit better. She wasn't mean about it. I had some really great teachers. And once they kind of found that out about me, they did awesome for me.
You let little Josh play and
That's so nice.
With the limit. They were like, you can
definitely.
draw, but we're not gonna let you go on and create these masterpieces while you're taking lecture. So I was like, all right.
So then, what did you do after high school?
So after high school, I came up to UNM. My original goal was to become a doctor. I wanted to become a cardiologist. So UNM was in in state, and it was far enough from home to leave home.
Yes.
And
Where's
put some
home?
clothes down in Sutherland Park, New Mexico.
Okay. Yes, I know that place.
So this was a thing that I wanted to explore. Art was something that was a hobby. I wanted to do something with it, but it was something that I was told that it's a hard thing to. It's a hard career to go into. That's why they have started artists. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I want to do something a little bit different, and I love anatomy. I love learning about the human body,
Yes.
and the physiology of man and all. So I went to UNM, 2 years into just the basics. I tried taking chemistry and biology. I rocked it, chemistry. I sucked.
Oh,
So I attempted chemistry a few times until I realized that it's not for me, and it's probably not going to be something I can move forward with. So I love chemistry. I don't hate it, but I think it was a blow to realize that okay, this part that I cannot move forward in because
okay.
the rest of medical school is chemistry. It's not
Wow.
chemistry.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Was that a hard thing to go for, like thinking you're gonna go into med school and then like I don't know what to do after that? Like where
It
where do
was.
I go?
It was a little hard, and it wasn't until my mom was, encouraging me, like, hey, how about you find out some stuff? I was going through a little bit of a depressive phase because of dealing with that
Yeah.
low.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to take a psychology class, and from there I started moving into the field of psychology. And I liked it. It was fun. It was great learning about people, kids especially. And from there, I continued. But I didn't have art as a main yet at that point.
Were you still doing art while you were studying psychology?
I had about maybe 3 classes I did
Okay.
through my college experience, which I loved.
Yes.
But it still wasn't like in my head as like something that I wanted to. Some of the things that a lot of kids tend to lack is just knowing what goes into good work, no matter what, right? They're like the one thing I've learned is if you want something done right or done good, it's gonna take work. And anything worth doing is always gonna be hard work.
Yes.
Always.
I always tell my kids, if it were easy, everybody would be doing it.
Yeah,
It's true.
It's
Yeah.
true. So the kids, I'll sit down, I'll show them my techniques, and sometimes they get bored. They're just like, I don't want to do this. This is taking too long. It's like, and they're like, I want to do what you're doing. I want to do your piece. I'm like, you don't get it. Like where I'm at, one, it's taking years of experience. 2, just to get to where I'm at has taken hours.
Yeah.
That's one thing that like a lot of people don't understand. They're like, oh, you could just do a piece in like a day. I'm like, no, I've been working on this piece for a month. And it's color pencil. There's a lot of layering in it, so you do have to like be patient. There is like a lot of planning, but you also I try to tell the kids use it as a way of finding peace with yourself. Get lost in it. If you need to tune out the world for a little bit, tune out the world and just work on what you can control, which is nice because that's kind of how I say this is what I can control right now. Is this little inch by inch piece, and I just go from there.
So at what point did you consider yourself an artist?
Okay, so so I started probably about maybe last year. I started
wow,
something
barely?
else. I have
Because you have a lot of experience.
I was about to say.
Yeah, so probably with the imposter syndrome.
Yes.
It's always something.
I think we just felt that on a spiritual level.
I know you just hit my heart right there. You're like, yeah, that's true.
So around 2018 when I met my wife, I was still trying, but it was more of a hobby. At that point,
true.
when my parents would still encourage me to do art. They were like, hey, see what you can do. Maybe you can make some side money, stuff like that. And then I met my wife. and she was encouraging. We spent our first Valentine's Day together, and she bought me some really cool markers and a render sketchbook. And I don't know if you know about the render
No.
paper. Like the markers don't go through at all. They don't bleed. You can apply as much pressure as you can. It won't show up on the other side.
That's
Love
nice
it.
and simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good
That
paper.
sounds really good.
And it's thin. It's not like hard like a lot of like watercolor paper tends to be like pretty thick. As
Yeah,
well.
it doesn't bend well.
Yeah. So it's pretty light. So I loved it. And, from there, I met her mom,
Oh.
and her mom was also had as an artist, and she went to school for industrial design.
Okay.
And so she had a lot of different sort of Prismacolors and Copic markers were things that are introduced by my mother-in-law. She was like, here are some supplies. Here's something you can play
Here,
around
stay
with.
busy.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think she saw that I liked really like doing art. With the markers, I started off with a lot of doodling and trying to copy a lot of other artists that were out there just to see where my style. There you go.
Yeah.
My style. I wanted to see where my style was because I didn't have style then. A lot of my drawing going up to now was somewhat of my imagination, but it was also trying to take a lot of fan art kind of deal. And I wanted to make something on my own. So I used a lot of other artists to try to see where I fit. And then from there, I completely went somewhere else. Like I took the color pencils and I moved away from the cartoony feel and started doing more of like
Realistic.
realistic
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
Your things look like they're
oil
photographs.
Yeah.
They're, like,
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I was, because I didn't grow up or go to school for art, I didn't get to learn a whole lot about other artists out there. So a lot of what I've known or gotten to learn about has been on my own. So like Goya's work and Caravaggio and just how that light and darkness kind of mix with the pieces. And I loved it. But for some reason, especially Caravaggio, a lot of darkness, dark themes. And you have like that one piece where a woman is cutting off a guy's head, right? And so it's dark. But what drew me to it was just the way the light and shadows work in those pieces. It's beautiful. And what I wanted to do was try to see if I could try to recreate something like that with color pencil. I wanted to apply a lot of what is in my head and try to mash it with something that would be photorealistic. So my goal is to try to get as realistic as I can. I want the audience to say, hey, this, what
I
you
love
said.
this photograph.
This
Oh
looks
yeah,
like a
wait,
photo.
look. It's not a photograph. It's colored pencils.
It's crazy because it's so smooth.
Yeah, and
I
so
know. That's amazing.
the technique honestly is just, you go layer by layer, right? You learn how to blend, you go light, and then you just keep adding and adding, and then once I get to the part where I know that that's the color I want, I take a color that's gonna blend everything together, and I just really push hard on that paper. So it does wear down my pencils a lot.
Oh, bless
But-
your pencils.
but it does give that nice effect, and I love it, especially because the color pencil with Prismacolors, I don't know about other ones, but I noticed that with the Prismacolors over time the piece will get a little foggy, and I kind of like that kind of fogginess. Like it feels like it's like an aged picture, like it's not something new.
Oh, like it adds some quality, like a fine wine.
Yeah, it eventually will go away once I spray a fixative on it,
Yes.
to make sure that it lasts and is protected. It will go away, but I just, my whole goal is I want you guys to see something and say, hey, I could reach in and try to I wanted to suspend it in space so you can make it look like anybody can try to get it.
Yeah, make it tangible. That's
Where can we buy your artwork?
So I do have prints. I'm doing prints online. If you go to my Instagram at joshyjosh_arts, I have a link to my website. My website isn't as great yet. It's something that I'm having trouble trying to get better at.
That's so hard for artists because you're like trying to do art, but at the same time you're like, oh wait, my website needs a lot of work. And you're doing. So I get that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and like you were saying, in both of y'all, actually, being an artist, you think, oh, I'm gonna be an artist and I'm gonna paint and live the dream, but then it's like, oh, I'm gonna be a business owner, and that means I wear all the hats.
True.
Yeah. But yeah, it's rough, but it's worth it. So, what would you say would describe your work in like 3 words, or maybe something that helped you with your work?
So I think imagination.
Let's get
I think working on a lot of my pieces, able to zone out for a bit, and it does bring me some understanding. So I can use that.
And that goes back to how art helps
With psychology.
with psychology,
Yeah.
just your mental health.
Yeah.
It is such a good way of not curing, and you're never going to be cured, you're never going to be normal, but it does
What is
help.
normal?
But it does help you.
Yeah.
It helps so much.
And
What's your third? Sorry.
no, it's okay. My third is gonna be honestly just resilience. You have
Keeping
to
at it. Yeah.
you have to learn how to bounce back. You know, as an artist, you get rejected a lot. You could be as good as you can, but it's something for a lot of, especially here in Albuquerque and New Mexico, there's a ton of amazing artists.
Yes.
So if you don't get picked, you're still like, all right, you know what, dust yourself off, let's move on to the next one. And sometimes it sucks, but
Those are hard things to find if you have like ADHD or autism, or you're even in neurodivergent. Because you're absolutely right. Like finding that imagination isn't hard to find, but keeping that peace and resilience with it and the balance. That's impressive.
I think today with technology and having access to technology at a younger age, I do think imagination is sort of fun.
Is it?
I think a lot of people don't understand that art, with its creativities, is more than just like a pretty picture on the wall, but there's a lot of applications to it. Like you have the industrial arts, like that's how they're designing their phones, and that's how they're designing like cool cars. Like everything that you see kind of in the world it has to do with art, everything like that. So if you want like that nice cool feeling, you know, you have like these really cool buildings, these really cool cars, something that really sticks out, you know. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but you know, like the past few years we had like this kind of grayification, you know, buildings are more gray. It doesn't feel like gray, it doesn't feel homey, it feels kind of sad.
I don't know. I love personally, having studied architecture, my favorite architect is Leonardo, which was all color, and like Mexican architecture is distinguished with color. So I tend to go like towards a lot of the color. So
and like, you know, and it's like cool, but I get so like I think that like imagination is something that I feel like is great because we need it. Like I do think that we need a lot more of it. And another fun fact is that the more older you get, the less of your imagination you keep. There's been studies where you ask a kid what to use a paperclip for, and they'll come up with close to 100 reasons or ways to use a paperclip. You ask an adult, and you know, you're limited. It's because as you grow up,
I think technology kills imagination.
It
So,
can.
Yeah, a little bit.
It does.
I think it's one that could fuel it, but it's always doses, right?
Yes.
Too much
Too
of
much.
it, definitely. But if you have just enough to kind of see like what can spark,
Sure.
you know, it's there. You know, you can spark it, but it's a dose thing. It's like you have to have technology in good amounts.
Yeah.
Do you ever use AI?
No, I
Good.
Oh, good.
Yay.
Yeah.
no, I've never got a chance to use it. Honestly, I don't want to use it. I don't have like a want to try because I want to see what my brain can do. I'm always trying to see how realistic I can get with my core pencils. I want to see what I can bring about with my imagination. I love my imagination.
Yeah. That's
It's always-
awesome.
What are your plans in the future?
My plans for the future, every day, well, the small goals, every day I'm trying to see how much better I can get from the previous piece. I want to get there. I want to be better. I want to see how realistic I can get. The bigger goal, the bigger picture is I would love to eventually get to a point where I can do art as a full-time job. Right now, I'm kind of juggling a full-time job and trying to do my art business, and it's hard. You get burned out, and I would like to find a way to be able to completely be in the art world. And I would love to try to see if I could get a mural. You know, I think a mural would be a fun thing to try out, to put up on a wall. I think I would love to be a part of the city in a way that I can show my art to everybody. So, you know, I'm going to continue working on that.
That's awesome. And you've done a mural before on your Instagram.
Oh, and I love it because it's like day 1, day 2.
Yeah.
Tell us about
that. Okay, and I'm really, really sorry.
Oh boy, story time.
This was an act of defiance, and it was vandalism, but it was I was in a job after I burned out of the psychology field. I wanted to go full time into art, but I still needed income to come in, so I was working at a local gym. And
we're not gonna say the name of the local gym. That's okay. If you recognize them, just be quiet.
No,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not here to call anyone. I don't want to call anyone. That's not what it might be. But I just I was going through a lot. I was already feeling depressed, and I wanted to do something. They didn't have a lot of color there, and there was a sign for a vacuum that just said, "Ask manager how to use." And I was like, I want to put a brain there. Like, what if you put a brain that says "Ask manager how to use"?
Your brain.
You know, and maybe it was a bit of a diss. It wasn't trying to be, but it was just something I wanted to have fun and make it a joke. And then from there, I took some Posca markers and brought them to work. And every time I had a little lunch break, I would go in and add just a little bit. So what you see is, you know, day by day of how long it took to do the little piece that I made on there.
Yes.
So it was fun. I know you have some pictures of it. Right?
I saw them on Instagram.
You know,
They're pretty slick.
I know. I saw those. I'm like, oh.
I wanted to do a skeleton, and I was like, you know what? I'll make the skeleton green. Why not, right? And then I made it look more punk with a leather jacket. You know, it's going like that. It's good gloved hands. And then I threw in an angry piñata for some reason. I just wanted an angry piñata. I did this, you know, and this was just the thing that brought me joy. It eventually brought my coworkers joy because they love seeing it. And it was one of the things that they were also trying to see how far I could get away with doing it. So they were just like, hey, like, how do we hide it? And it was right underneath the coat rack, so we all had backpacks and jackets, so we would let it dry, then hang stuff over it.
So if any coworkers are listening to this and that mural's still there,
the real one.
get in touch with him.
If it's not, then
we don't want to
know. I assumed it was on a piece of board that was like nailed to the wall, so I'm pretty sure it got like painted over or something.
Oh.
We never know. It might be like the famous piece.
Wouldn't it be cool? Like Josh was here.
Yes.
Right.
So wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah. Because of it, like one of my other goals. I have a lot of things I want to do with art. But one of my other goals is like I actually want to make a comic book / graphic novel.
Okay,
cool.
That's something I've always wanted
As
to
a
do.
teacher, I'm sure that's really awesome.
And
who would be your hero? What's your? I don't want to give it away, but
it's I'm working on a story with these. I don't know if you see my cartoons, but I have a little green and red cheetah. That is, they look mutated. Okay, they're alive and stuff like that, and I have a whole story about them and how they're going to be these heroes, and eventually they meet the skeleton that I did as a hero. You know, the skeleton has a brain and a heart.
Okay.
You know, the brain is remove the anxiety, you know, is tell the skeleton,
Oh, nice.
hey, we need to back off or don't do this and everything. And the heart's always distracted. They always have to keep the heart distracted because if the
That's
heart's
awesome.
focused,
That's so
That
real.
is so perfect for this.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like, that's very, I see the psychology degree at work.
so
That's
yeah, if you
cool.
see the heart that I've drawn, he's wearing headphones and he's just listening to some music, and just kind of la la la. But if the headphones fall, the heart focuses, and then that's when adventures happen.
Ooh.
It's like the heart over the brain. The anxiety is not going to stop you. You're going to go, and and these guys go on this pretty cool adventure.
Wow.
You know, I want to throw in, you know.
I want to buy this book.
I definitely want to set here in New Mexico. You know, I want there to be, you know, an astrophysicist Chorlo. I want there to be, you know, like some really cool inventions and
Yes.
just people that are
Awesome.
fighting for people. You know, they wanna fight for all of us and make sure that we're all good. And these guys that are just weird and out of this
That's
world. You know, I want it to be a fun adventure. So I have some stories there.
That is awesome. Yes.
I have other stories that I've said I've done as well. That other characters I've drawn for another story. That one I'm just kind of like I'm gonna keep to the side. But the other one I want specifically for New Mexico. I want
That is
that.
amazing. Speaking of chili, our question, red or green?
Ooh. Okay, so I'm gonna go with green on this one.
Okay.
I love green. I do like Christmas.
I love Christmas.
Wow. Christmas doesn't count, but okay.
But I love green. I grew up as a wimp. I grew up as a wimp with Chile. Hey, I couldn't handle Chile as a kid, and then I came to UNM, which is weird because I grew up closer to Hatch.
I know, you were, yes.
I grew close
I
to
know,
Hatch.
and then like the Tex-Mex food is pretty, well, it's tomatoey.
Yeah. But you know, I came here and I was like, all right, you know what? I gotta try the green Chile.
Well, this was such a great time with you. I really enjoyed talking with you, having a coffee and conversation.
Yeah, thank you for having me on here. This has been awesome, and I get to hang out with fellow artists and get to talk.
I know what I love is that people get to know you. And
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, yes.
Yeah, and to see how you use your work to help like neurodivergence, people with ADHD and autism, and just
Thank you.
like using your story to help others. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, no, I can totally relate with that.
Yeah.
Not only with me and my son and like everybody in our family is little.
Well,
It's all right.
a little exciting, I like to say.
Yeah.
Other than that, thank you guys
Thank you
for
for
listening.
joining us. Please like and subscribe and follow us. But also share this video with a loved one or a friend. It really does help the podcast. And it just helps support community and also local businesses like the Wells Coffee and also local artists like Josh here. And if you're interested in being on our podcast, please feel free to contact me or Claudia.
And Coffee Chat Creative's
Yes.
email.
Yes, the coffee chat.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.